ready, Tilly?
Ready to be done with this guy.
Yeah, she's ready. So we're over here by the buck pen and we're gonna let Tilly out so that she can be free.
Today is the day we are finally going to be reuniting Winston with his true love, Tilly, who has been over in the buck pen this whole time.
We're gonna see if she runs over to Winston. We're gonna see how in love they really are.
Yeah.
You ready, Winston?
All right.
Come on, Winston!
Come on.
Come on, bud, you're free!
Come on, Tilly. Hurry up.
What? Tilly is over there, Winston. Maybe he's looking for her. Maybe he's looking for her.
Nope, not Tilly.
That's not Tilly, that's Hazel, remember?
Not Tilly.
Look, look, she's coming, Winston.
It's over here. There she is. You're missing her. There she is.
It's Tilly.
Oh.
There.
And Tilly's not even in heat right now. That is funny. Well, apparently Winston and Tilly still have feelings for each other. They're always going to be in love, I guess. And now we get to take Napoleon back to Zorro. Uh-oh, Kevin, Luna's in heat and she's trying to run. Oh,
So nice.
Luna, go be with Mr. Winston, okay?
Come on.
Oh, no, Luna, sorry, you don't get to go there. Okay. There you go. Oh, they got to go through their beginning fights. It seems like every summer I have a volunteer cucumber plant. And summer isn't even the time to grow cucumbers here because they get too bitter. But these few little cucumbers have been growing in the shade and I think they'll work out perfectly to make a couple jars of pickles. I'm not going to can these pickles. I'll just do what we call refrigerator pickles, which is just where you mix up a brine and then store it in the fridge for about a month or so. The brine's really simple. It's got vinegar, a little bit of sugar, even though this is more of a sour dill pickle recipe, and a little bit of salt. I decided to go with really thin pickles because we love to put them on our hamburgers, but we don't like a huge old thick pickle. So I'll thinly slice them, get a bunch of garlic and dill ready, and then we pack them. We'll add garlic and then dill to the bottom of the jars, some coriander seeds, a little bit of powdered mustard, even though it should be really mustard seeds in this, and then all of the cucumbers. I'll cover it with the brine once the brine's cooled down, and then they just go in the fridge. They'll be ready to eat in about a day, and they should store for about a month. Oh, I forgot one more thing. We're gonna pick a few fresh grape leaves from our grapevines. These are known to keep cucumbers very crisp. So, stuff those little babies in there and hopefully in a day or so, we'll try them out, see what they taste like.
Well, right next to our milking station here, these bees made such a big hive up in this branch that the branch just came down. Now we got a beehive right here, so that's good. Hopefully they won't stay too long now that it's on the ground. We'll see what happens here. Luckily, bees don't really go after goats. I don't know if it's their hair or what, or these are just really docile bees. But naturally, the bees just relocate. The queen is gone already, and most of them have left with her, and they're gradually going away. And the goats aren't bothered at all. The bees don't care about them.
Well, both boys are fighting over Luna. Luna, do you love those boys? I think she likes them because they smell so good.
We can't let you in there, Luna. I'm sorry, we just can't.
Well, I think she likes Napoleon more because he's a little bit prettier.
And he's younger. She likes a young man.
Well, we've got a few different does in heat right now. We've got Willow, Olive, and Luna. See, Luna, you've got Winston. See? He doesn't like her as much as he likes Olive. Winston is just obsessed with Olive. She must be his favorite. Look how big she is. They're growing so fast. Oh, Luna. If you live in Arizona and you aren't prepping your garden right now, what are you doing? This is the prime time to start prepping for our fall garden. In Arizona, the start of our garden season begins in the fall. This is the time that we get most of our rain, so it's the prime time to also be prepping your garden and getting ready for an amazing season and lots of production in the garden. A big misconception about Arizona is that we have bad soil. We don't have bad soil, we have perfect soil. All it needs is a little bit of amending. A lot of people think that we have sandy soil since we live in the desert, but we actually have a very clay-like soil. And what we like to do to break it up is do something called broad forking. It's a very gentle version of tilling the soil. It helps aerate it so that you can get lots of nutrients down there and the roots have an easier time growing. And it really takes like 5 minutes. I bought this broad fork online. There's lots of places that sell them. And it was probably the best purchase I ever made because it allowed us to grow easily in the ground. For years I used raised garden boxes, but they always seem to use way more water than I felt comfortable using here in the desert. This way, by growing in ground, we get to use the natural properties of our clay soil, which holds in moisture and makes it so we use probably a quarter of the water that we used to use. After we go down the row and make sure that everything has been broad forked or loosened up, we'll bring in some of our composted goat manure. I'm sure there's a little bit of chicken and geese manure in there as well, and we'll spread it along the row. This has nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus, and is really just the perfect amendment for the garden. There are a lot of different fertilizers you can buy online, but the best gardens I've ever had has been from using broken down manure, or what we call composted manure. I normally don't add a border to our rows, but it looked sort of pretty. So I decided to move our river rock and clearly define these 4 rows we have over here in the garden. She's not even afraid.
Won't get out no matter what.
I guess bring her on to the garden. Hi, did you go out for a ride? Huh? Oh, pond, plants.
She won't get out no matter what.
Come on. Oh, she was holding it down for you.
Yeah.
Come on. This soil is so beautiful, and I'm so glad that years ago we broke down those raised garden boxes and went straight to in-ground gardening. I've really never had better soil than I do now. I was a little worried that adding a border would make it harder for us to broad fork, but turns out it did just fine, and this is going to be our strawberry row. The best thing about working outside, though, is that we get to take breaks and swim in the pond.
There's a treat over there, Salem.
Good girl, come on. You can do it. She's never taken off from that high step.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Come on. Come.
Good girl.
So good.
Good girl.
Scary. Come on. Good girl. Okay, let's see if you can come back this way.
Oh, yeah, she can. Have her get on the stairs first. Have her get on the stairs first.
Get up there. The way we water is we use a very simple dripper system. So we have these dripper lines attached to a dripper head that we can adjust, and then it's hooked up to our regular sprinkler system. And there it is. It's beautiful, and I'm so excited to start the fall planting season. This is only really half of our garden, and now as I'm doing this drone shot, I realize they're kind of crooked. It's okay. The birds will probably not judge us that much. So if you're interested, here is what I'm planting. I've been trying to become more aware of the different categories that plants fall into. Legumes fix nitrogen in the soil, which means they help retain it into the soil. The leaf plants need nitrogen, so things like kale and lettuce. Root vegetables like carrots or beets need potassium, and the fruits like the melons and the cucumbers, they need phosphorus. So it's good to sort of rotate these 4 different groups. So I've been trying to do that. That's what the colors represent here. But things always change and I'm always moving things around. There are a lot of things that we're going to start planting. Cauliflower, broccoli, celery, carrots, beets, potatoes, cabbage. And then as we move into October, we're going to plant a lot more lettuces and garlic, onions, radishes, kale, spinach, and then a bunch of different herbs all throughout the winter. So I'm really excited because as I start this fall season, it's going to carry us all the way till really the spring and summer planting that happens in February. If you live in Arizona, take advantage of this rainy, cooler weather and start prepping your gardens. Well, now Salem's just swimming by herself. Good girl.
Good girl.
That's how you cool off out here. At first we were just training Salem so that if she fell in, she could swim to the side. And now we're just training her because it's so hot here, she's gonna need to cool off. So now she can get in and swim. I don't know if we're gonna regret this.
Well, this is the first day that there's no rain in the forecast. So today we're gonna build the stand for the pizza oven.
Okay, the stand of the pizza oven is done.
Yes.
Now there are a few things that you may say is wrong, but we're gonna explain why they're absolutely not wrong.
Wrong? No, I just want to answer some questions so you guys don't have to ask in the comments. Yes, I know you can use rebar, but chose not to in this instance. And know you also like to stagger the blocks, but there weren't enough half blocks at Lowe's, so I didn't stagger as much. Don't need to ask those questions.
It'll be fine. I'm sure there are a lot of different ways to do it, but I think this will be good.
It's been 20 years since I did block, but it's all right. We're gonna we're gonna cover it up with like this plaster stuff, so it doesn't even have to look that pretty right now because we're gonna cover it up.
Salem likes it, huh? So the next part is to put the actual base at the top of the stand here. Mm-hmm. So are you gonna pour concrete for that again?
Yes.
Build the form and everything? That is gonna be fun.
Maybe some glass, and we'll let DaNelle decide what insulators she wants inside it.
Well, Tilly and Winston have been not as buddy-buddy as before. Winston's been doing his thing, kind of getting distracted by all of the ladies in heat.
Or like Winston's mad at her for cheating on him.
Tilly will always love her little baby. He's very interested in Daphne too. Now Hazel, she doesn't look that big. Had me worried for just a little bit that maybe the babies weren't growing inside of her, so I did another ultrasound and everything looks fine. It looks like she just has one baby though, but it's moving, has a strong heartbeat, so I guess we're just gonna have a singleton out of Hazel at the end of September. But hopefully Tatum and Fern have a few more than that. Tatum's looking a little bit big.
Oh, look at that.
Just a little bit, huh? And Fern, she's always looked a little big, so it's hard to tell. Alright guys, thanks for joining us today. If you want to watch the video all about our breeding plans for this year, we're hoping that all of it works out, go ahead and click here.